Hey guys, it's your boy Rugby League Roundup back here with another episode of Beyond the Tryline, episode 6 we are at now. So slowly climbing, but today another team that we are going to review the 2025 season is South Sydney Rabbitohs, and I'm here with my friend Xander. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. It's been busy recently with some content, so it's good to see. Starting to get a bit more consistency now, and yeah, feeling a bit more free flowing when I speak. So yeah, it's good. And yeah, if you guys want to see more content or have any ideas for me that I haven't thought of as of yet, please let me know in the comment section. That would be much appreciated. So moving in, we're going to go through this slideshow that I've put up, and we're just going to go through the stats. And if you could take me through the Rabbitohs 2024 stats, Xander, that would be great.
Yeah. So in 2024, South Sydney Rabbitohs finished 16th on the ladder with 7 wins and 17 losses. They scored 494 points, but had 682 points scored on them.
Yeah. And that was a pretty unfortunate season. They had a lot of injuries, and so as they did in 2025, which I'm about to run through now. But it ended up being a bit of a better season because Wayne Bennett was back at the helm. Plays There was less injuries, but still a lot. And I think we saw some real shining lights like Jai Gray and Talis Duncan. They finished 14th, which ended up being 2 positions better. They had 2 more wins with 9 and 2 less losses with 15. They scored 427 points, which was probably where they struggled a bit more. Their attack was better in 2024, whereas this 2025 season, they struggled to score points. And in points against, they were much better, with only 608. So 74 points less than 2024, which is pretty good factor for South in 2025. Now, moving through the attacking stats, if you would like to go through them, because there's some good stats, but there's also some really, really bad stats here.
Yeah. So if you look at points per game, they averaged 17.8 points per game with 3.8 line breaks. Also averaged 25.8 tackle breaks per game,
Yeah.
1,550 run meters per game, 6 offloads, 9.7 errors, and an 81.4 completion rate, which was the highest in the league.
Yeah, and their completions was really good, and I think somewhere they probably will improve in 2026 is the fact that if Latrell Mitchell and Cody Walker are able to play more than 15 games, they're a 10 to 20 point better side than what the points per game says they are. They could really pile on 30 points when they're on, but just didn't happen to be that way in 2025. And yeah, even tackle breaks and running, they didn't make any meters. So it's kind of hard to play good footy when you can't get up the field. Moving on though,
100%.
we have our defense. We have our defense and discipline, and points conceded 25.3. So they came 12th for that, which still not great, but better than 5 other teams. And they missed the most tackles in the league, which is really poor. 36.3 missed tackles per game. Yeah, it's worst in the league, and that's something that I'm sure Wayne Bennett will be looking to fix up come 2026. And then sin bins, they had 7 sin bins, and they're tied with Tigers on that. I'm not sure. I'm not too sure where the sin bin ranks sit because I hadn't actually calculated those. But they get 7 sin bins and 5.1 penalties, which is the 4th best in the league when it comes to conceding penalties. So they did pretty good with some disciplinary actions, but missed tackles and points conceded definitely need to be fixed. Moving on, it's our player review time, and there's not as much players to review as with other teams because a lot of these players got injured. They didn't quite play 10 games. So for me, I'm not going to review them. Neither is Xander because it would just be unfair to give them a pass or a fail mark. So for that, we're just going to review players with 10 games upwards. So the first player we have is Tallis Duncan. Tallis Duncan, probably one of the top 3 in South players this season. Would you agree with that, Xander?
I would personally agree with that.
And he got moved around a lot this year because there was games where he'd play centre and there's games where he'd play in the back row, but he was scoring tries, like didn't really matter. So, yeah, he was definitely a standout player. He averaged his most meters with 110. And I think he has to be in the squad somewhere, whether it's second row or in the middle of the field. I don't know, but yeah, he has to start.
100% agree with that, Billy.
So for a pass or fail mark, what would you give Tallis Duncan?
I would give Tallis Duncan it's a pass. He played very well. He was very diverse on the field. He was scoring good tries. He was everywhere.
Yeah, he was. He was everywhere, and yeah, he had a real big impact in a bit of a down year. But yeah, it's going to be a pass mark for me. Just stood out, did all the effort. He's always done all the effort areas, but the tries and the try assists and all the line breaks are starting to come into play now, and he could really set the league alight in the next couple of years and become one of the form back rowers in the comp if he really wants to.
100%.
Moving on now to play we both know quite well from being there. Jai Arrow. Yeah. 24 games, 2 tries, but those stats don't really stand out. It's more his leadership this year. He had to take a bit more of a role on with his leadership, and I think he did a great job.
Yeah, I agree. He stepped up. He showed real good leadership. Obviously, as you said, stats such as tries they're harder to earn in a position such as prop. So
Yeah.
stats like that don't really show. But his leadership, he really stepped up this year.
Yeah, and probably one of his better defensive years. Efficiency-wise, 93%. He's always been around that 92 mark, but at South, he's always been around 93, 94. So he's always been solid defensively. And I think even just grit and determination was showed almost every game. So for me, Jai Arrow, definitely a pass mark.
Agree. Definitely a pass.
Yeah. Moving on to our next player, someone who had to take over the goal kicking reins because everyone was just falling down, and it was always the goal kickers. Isaiah Tass, 23 games, 5 tries, 5 try assists. The stats aren't too bad. 86% tackle rate, 98 run meters, but a lot of fans have mixed opinions about him.
Yeah, and I am one of those fans. I feel for sorry, a stat such as try assists, Isaiah Tass could have had a lot more, especially when he was playing in the center role. There's a lot more times where he could pass it on to the winger instead of holding it, I believe, personally. But
Yeah.
overall, when he was goal kicking as well, his goal kicking was actually pretty good this year, I feel. So very mixed opinions about Tass.
Yeah, and I think you're right in aspects because there's been 2 seasons where he's had 9 try assists, and so we know he can get more. And the opportunities when they present itself, he usually takes them. But this year there was opportunities where in games they could have had that ball to the winger and scored, and just didn't happen to be that way. But I didn't think he did too bad. I don't think he was awful as some people thought. But what would you give him?
Um, well, when it comes to obviously yes, his tries could have been higher, but he still had to step up with a bit of leadership, with stuff such as goal kicking, and because he was able to show his like a bit more diversity on the field, he was able to do a bit more for the team. For that,
Yeah,
I'll give him a pass because I feel like he really stepped up and showed himself, showed that he can kick and he has more value than just sitting in center.
yeah. I think he's got some solid attributes about him, and yeah, I'm going to give him a pass for the season. I think uh, not his greatest season, obviously. Previous 2 seasons haven't, but seasons before that, he's been great, and he's got potential to be a really good center in the NRL. So, yeah, I think he gets a pass from me, but I hope he has a better 2026 because when he's on, he's pretty good. So, yeah, pass mark for me, and we'll move on now to Saliva Havili. 23 games, 2 tries, 1 try assist. Always very consistent off the bench. Quick play the ball. He tends to be able to offload and has got good ball skills. Yeah, what were your thoughts on Saliba for 2025?
Personally, I really like Liver. He's quite a diverse player as well. You can see him playing a range of different positions on the field. So I think he had a pretty decent season, especially coming off the bench.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked his plays, his game this year.
Yeah, I think he was very solid. I'm not too sure if he's at South next year, but I think for me, it's pretty simple. I'm going to give him a pass. I think he's always so consistent. He works hard. He works his ass off every time he comes off the bench. So, yeah, pretty easy pass mark for me.
Agree.
Now, Sean Kepi, another one where a lot of mixed reactions, but 21 games, pretty consistent first grader. When he plays, he's played a lot of first grade. He's been playing for almost 8 years now in first grade, and yeah, defensively he's always pretty solid. But yeah, give us your thoughts on Sean Kepi.
Um, I feel like Sean Kepi is one of those players who can have like his really peak high days, his really good days, but you can also see him at his lowest days. So he's
Yeah,
very I feel like when he's on the field he can be very consistent, but sometimes he'll show like glimpse of like really good potential and other times where he's not having the best day, he might get a sin bin, situations like that.
yeah, and you'll see sometimes when he plays, no, he does his job, but it's the errors I think and the hands. There'll be maybe 2 errors a game for a couple of games, and puts your team under pressure. You can't really have that. So I think he does his job in terms of defense and running the ball. I think he's okay, but yeah, errors is probably an area he must fix. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to give him. He's kind of in between, maybe borderline.
Yeah, I agree.
Are we happy to give him a borderline pass, or do you think we should fail him for the 2025 season?
Look, he he didn't go into too much trouble this year. Like I feel like he's had times where he's been in more trouble, given away more penalties, more sin bins in a season.
Yeah.
And for that, I feel like he can get a pass, just
Yeah.
borderline pass.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm happy to give him a borderline pass. I think he's always got the effort there and trying his best. So yeah, for me, I'm going to give him a pass as well. But moving from one front rower to the other, we have Keon Kalamatangi, who yeah, I might like a bit more than South fans at the moment. But,
Controversial one.
a bit of controversy, but 20 games, 4 tries, and a try assist. And I think even though he's made his decision to leave South Sydney, he really stood up this year. He played in the front row due to players being injured and going down, and he kind of made that position his own, don't you think?
I agree. Yeah, he was always a really good player. He always really put it in. Whoa, he really put in a lot of effort when he was playing in the back row. But when he stood up and played prop this year, he really showed himself, really put in a lot more effort, and you could really see his impact on the field.
Yeah, and I think the game that really stood out to me was the game against Tigers, I think, in round 11. It was at, I'm not too sure if it was at Campbelltown,
Mm,
but he ran for something like 280 meters, and
mm.
um, he made 50 tackles. Like that is just dedication. And yeah, he put a full 80 minutes of football in at the front row, and as a front rower, that's a real perk to have. Not many front rowers can play the 80 minutes, but they're being trained to play 80 minutes now because the demands of the NRL is that you have front row forwards fit enough to almost play the full 80. And Keon was able to do so and really stood out. And that's why he got a lot of clubs chasing him during that period there for a while. So yeah, I'm happy to give Keon a pass. I think no matter where he goes, where he made his decision to go, he stood out and had a great year for South, and he probably might have another great year again if he doesn't get distracted with the contract sagas.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree. You can really see his contribution and his impact on both sides of the ball. He ran a lot. He put in a lot of defensive work as well.
Yeah,
And as you said, being a prop who's able to play 80 minutes is it's huge.
yeah, it is. It is. And I think we're both happy to give him a pass for his year this year. Able to captain, I think, for the first time this year as well. So yeah, had a good year. Very, very solid. Now, moving from Keon onto another absolute workhorse of a guy, Lachlan Hubner. Um, wow, really, really surprising. At the start of the year, came from Dolphins, had maybe 3 games of first grade footy, but you hear the stories that the teammates love him, the fans love him. He's a fan favorite, and everything he did on that field suggested to me that he really loves playing for South, and he loves putting on the jersey every time because he always goes out there and does all the 1%ers that not many players do, and he just works his ass off constantly.
Yeah, no, I agree. Hubby coming into the year, he had to obviously fill the shoes of a player like Cam Murray, who he's an Origin player. He's a big player, big name. Everyone knows who Cam Murray is. But
Yeah.
Lachlan Hubner coming into this year, filling those shoes, he's done really well. He's been really impressive throughout the year. And I feel like he deserves a starting role next year.
Yeah, I think there's every chance that he does start, and you have to kind of, I mean, South's forward pack is so stacked, but Lachlan Hubner has to remain in that side. He has to. You cannot even even if it's on the bench. You just got to find a place for him because he comes on the field and he does all the gritty stuff and bites down the mouth guard, gets down, does the dirty work that not many players usually do. And you know, efforts like kick chase, his tackle efficiency is really solid, 92%. Um, very limited errors, I think. I didn't really see him make any errors at all. So, yeah, he's a really good player, and I think big future ahead of him. He's 25 years old. He's still got plenty of years of first grade in him. So, South might get the best of his football, which is yet to come.
Oh, 100%. I agree.
So for Lockie Hubner, I think we are both happy to give him a pass mark, and yeah, it's pretty straightforward for that one. Moving on though, Jai Gray. Wow, mate, this guy, um, what a absolute machine! Like you think I'm pretty small, and he's about my height, so I mean I'd be shit scared to get him out on the footy field, but yeah, haven't done that in ages, but yeah, 19 games, 5 tries, 6 try assists, 8 line breaks, 83% tackle efficiency for a fullback, really solid, and 172 running meters per game. I think this one's pretty straightforward, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
yeah, so solid. Like, just in my opinion, could be the top 5 fullbacks in the future. He's definitely up there right now in the top 10 somewhere. So, yeah, Lockie Hubner got a pass. Jai Gray gets a pretty easy pass as well. Moving on now to Vita Totola. I didn't really get to see a lot, but what I did see was pretty positive. He's always pretty consistent to Vita, but give us your thoughts.
I feel like he had a very mixed season. There's obviously a lot of games where he started in the team. He came off the bench. He captained a game.
Yep.
He had a very interesting season, I reckon. He filled a lot of positions, like coming off the bench, captain. But he didn't actually have too bad of a season, I feel like.
Yeah, I think it was solid. I do think I think it was okay. Yeah, I'm happy to give him a pass because he was able to fill in most games where they were down with injuries, and he ended up getting injured towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure he almost got them in front against Sharks. He scored a try and dislocated his shoulder at the same time. So
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he does love the club, and he's been there since 2018 now, playing first grade consistently. And yeah, I'm happy to give him a pass mark for the 2025 season. I think it was okay.
Yeah.
Moving on, our next player is a halfback that came from Manly. Played one game of first grade, and yeah, lots of raps on him. At the start of the season, started at halfback and really took his opportunity. Jamie Humphreys, 18 games, 1 try, 5 try assists. He got shuffled around a bit this year as well. Halfback was obviously his spots, and when a couple of players came back, he had to move to lock. He had to move in the middle, play in the middle sometimes, but usually halfback for most of the season. So, yeah, give us your thoughts on Jamie Humphreys.
You could really see when he was playing and when he wasn't playing, Jamie. I remember towards the start of the season, like when around he got injured, Souths were on a little bit of a run. They were doing very well. And then he got injured and the team sort of started taking a few more losses.
Yeah,
You could see the clutch in him as well when he was kicking. He kicked a field goal to win the game early on in the season as well, if my
yeah,
memory serves me right. So you could really see when he was playing and coming in with one first grade game before the season. He had a really good season.
yeah, 100%. And the big thing about this, and this is a really intriguing stat, is that he played 18 games. South won 9, and he won 9. So every game that Jamie Humphreys played, the night
Every game South won.
every game South
was
won was when he played, and he only lost 9 games. So 50% win rate. If he happens to play more, they could have had a better win rate. but I think it signifies the impact that he had. Like he was really, really, really solid at halfback, and during his juniors, he got moved around. I think a fair bit. I think he was a hooker at one point, and
Yeah,
I mean he can play hooker or lock. He's big enough to, but him at halfback, the boot, the kicking game, that is strong. That has an impact. So yeah, I think this one's pretty easy. I'm going to give him a pass mark. What are you going to give him, Xander?
yeah, I'm going to give him a pass as well. I also think he's got a lot more improvement. Like he's a really good player, but he's also played 19 games in the league now. He's
Yeah,
still quite young. He's got a lot of room where he can grow as a player, and he can become a top player in the future.
I agree. I think he'll be a great player in the future, and he's a good bloke as well, and that makes it even easier to root for him in the future. Moving on, we have, I think it is Alex Johnson. Yes, it is. 16 games, 15 tries, 3 try assists. But the important stat here is I think he might be 1 or 2 tries away from breaking that unbreakable record that's going to be broken sometime soon. Maybe round one. We don't know. But all the South fans are definitely hoping it's a home game so they can all run on the field. I know that's for sure. I've talked to South fans that are really eager to see him do it at home, but home or away, I think the moment itself, just wow, what a winger! Greatest try scorer of all time, in my opinion. Some of the tries he scored, the intercepts, the IQ of his actual football IQ to read plays, he's been real good. So yeah, 16 games, 15 tries, pretty good try scoring season. 124 run meters, the best he's had in 7 years. Actually, no, it's the best he's had in his whole career at South Sydney. So on that part, he's actually made more of an impact. And yeah, I think it's pretty simple. I think everyone at South would give him a pass mark.
I agree. Obviously, he was injured for part of the season, missed a few games, but when he was playing, he was shining still.
Yeah,
He's getting to a part of his career where obviously he's getting older, and we all know that, but it hasn't slowed him down. He's still going out there, he's scoring tries, and he's going to beat the record sometime soon.
yeah. I think you'll break it within the first 5 rounds. I'm 100% certain if he doesn't get injured, he has to break it. But whether it's at home or not, I don't know. Maybe they reserve him so he can do it at home. Maybe they play him, but they just don't give the ball to him. I don't know what's worse, cannoning the team. But I think he has to do it at home. I think you just have to make him do it at home. I just don't see how you can't. Like
It
the
wouldn't be
fans,
right. It wouldn't be
yeah,
right to do it. Like if you did it somewhere like Suncorp, it just wouldn't be right for the fans,
yeah.
just for everyone involved with the team, everyone.
And I think the biggest thing is you've seen Buddy Franklin scored his 1,000 goals at Sydney Swans home ground.
That
Man,
yeah, the SCG.
that thing looked like a flock of birds in there, and the amount of fans that just went out and just celebrated. I had no idea because I don't really watch AFL, but yeah, I mean that's a significant moment in sports. I'm sure this one would be too. So yeah, if he could do it at home, that'd be something really really special. Now, now we've both given him a pass mark. Moving on to a player that I don't even have to say anything. I'm going to give him a pass mark anyway because he's, yeah, what else I suppose he's a good bloke, and that bloke is Jack Wyden. Yeah, 16 games, 6 tries, 4 try assists. He got moved positionally as well, but wherever he plays, it doesn't matter because one thing that remains consistent is that he'll always play to his best ability, and he did that pretty much all season.
Yeah, yeah. As you said, he was moved around positionally throughout the year, but he's always on the. You can tell when he's on the field. He's a good ball player and a good bloke even.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, he's deserving of a pass 100%.
yeah. I think we don't have to go too much further into that. But yeah, Jackie Wyden definitely a pass mark. Now, someone that's left the club, but I have huge raps on Davey Moali. Yeah, give us your thoughts on Davey.
I have no issues with Davey. I've liked Davey for a while. He's always coming. He's coming off the bench a lot of his games. I do think he's a good ball runner on his good days, but I don't know. Sometimes he has a few errors sometimes that you can that are
Yeah,
definitely fixable though.
yeah, 100%. Um, the move to the Storm has to be the best thing for his career, in my opinion.
Mainly.
I I think it's really smart move on his part. He has potential. He's 22 years old and he's played 5 seasons of first grade already. So it's like he's got what it takes to be a first grader, and yeah, I think he'll be great for Storm. And he didn't even have a
Is he going
bad
to the
year.
Storm?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's going to Melbourne, and then he's going to Manly in a couple of years ago. In a couple of years now.
Must have
So
missed that part.
yeah,
I
no,
must have
it
missed
was
when he started the Storm. Wow.
it was recent, but yeah, he's going to Manly after that. But I think it's the right career move for him to go to the Storm for 1 year. I think I think he's got the potential to be a great front rower and
Oh,
damaging. I think that any club that would have signed him would have benefited because he's a big bloke. He's a big forward. Like he's
oh yeah.
he could damage if you get it out of him. He will damage. So
And
um
with the injuries that are happening in Melbourne as well, obviously Eli Katoa, he's not going to play. I don't think he's
yeah,
playing this year.
no, and
Um,
neither is not Asafa Solomona.
neither is Nelson. So I feel like moving into Melbourne it'll be good for Davey. He'll learn a
Yeah,
lot there. I reckon he'll have a good year.
yeah, I think you'll start, and I think you'll have a great year, like you said. For me, I'm going to give him a pass. What about you?
Yeah, no, yeah, I agree. He's going to get a pass from me. And he'll have a good year next year in Manly. He'll learn a lot. I reckon he'll smooth out some of those edges with mistakes, and he'll be a good player.
Yeah, 100%. Um, moving on, I think I know who it is. I'm going to assume that it's Lee James. One try, but I think it's his work off the ball that makes him pretty solid. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Liam had a good year. He came off the bench a lot of the season, I'm pretty sure, but he had a good contribution off the bench, especially defensively, I believe.
Yeah. And the one thing that South need to do is, I think, find a way to get him into the top 30 because I'm not too sure if he's on the list there, or at least that I know of. I haven't seen him on the top 30 list, but he could be on developmental deal. Um, I think he has to be signed there for the long term. He's really consistent. So for me, pretty easy. I'm going to give LeBlanc a pass mark.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Now, moving on from Liam LeBlanc, it is my favourite player from South, and I think we all know who it is. Well, at least if you know me, you know who it is. It is Pistol Petey. 14 games, 3 tries, 4 try assists. Yes, I know. He had a good year, but he dislocated his shoulder, and or I think he had some sort of injury there, and it delayed his season and disrupted his flow. He was going so well.
Yeah, but that's to be as expected when you're coming back from injury. I feel like obviously the injury it might have disrupted his flow a little bit, slowed him down for the year. But I feel like now that the off season's come, he's going to go into next year. He's going to look good next year. Yeah, no, he had a very good
Yeah.
start to the year, I believe.
Yeah, and I'm happy to give him a pass mark because for majority of those 14 games, he played well. He played pretty solid. I just stuttered, but yeah, he played really solid, and I think if he's able to start next year, that's going to be big rap because there is like 4 dummy halves at the South Sydney Rabbitohs, and I'm probably not even joking when I say Brandon Smith, Peter Mamo, I think Ryan Gray's there,
Thompson,
and
oh,
and Bronson Garlic. So
yeah.
four players that could play dummy half there, and yeah, if he beats him out for that spot, is a big rap, 100%. So for me, pretty easy. I'm going to give him a pass mark. If he didn't get injured, probably one of South's most consistent players.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I do believe he'll find a way into the lineup next year. Despite there being 4 hookers, I do believe he'll make it.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Now, moving on, Ewan Aiken. I think he had a bit of a disrupted season as well. And these last few players all kind of had disrupted seasons. But one thing that always makes me appreciate Ewan Aiken is that he doesn't stop. Like if he's not running the ball, he's doing something else. Like he just doesn't stop working. And yeah, I appreciate a player like that, and I've always have with Ewan Aiken. Especially when he was at Dragons, makes me have a soft spot. So yeah, Ewan Aiken, pretty easy for me. I'm going to give him a pass.
Yeah, no, same, absolutely. He had a disruptive season, as you said, but he was also he was everywhere on the field, defensively, offensively, and positionally too. He was filling different positions, so I feel like he deserves a pass this year.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Ewan Aiken, definitely a pass mark. Now, moving on is Jaden Bud Sullivan. 13 games, 5 try assists. Another former Dragon. Seems that Dragons and Rabbitohs like to do a lot of deals with each other now that I'm realizing that. Yeah, I mean, potential always been there, and yeah, I think he's starting to find his home now. I think South is pretty good for him, and whenever he plays, he usually really solid and creative. So I'm happy to give him a pass.
Yeah, I really liked watching Jaden come off the bench this year, filling in that number 14 position. I think he did for most of the season. Um, yeah, no, I loved watching him this year. Yeah,
Yeah,
I give him a pass for the year.
and something that makes me give him the pass is that now more than ever, I think he's just running the ball. He's just he's really solid. He's been solid in multiple facets, even defensively. Not the biggest half, so it's kind of hard. But yeah, no, he's been real good, I think, since he's got to South. So I'm happy to give him a pass mark. Moving on, Tyrone Munro, 12 games, 7 tries. Yeah, feel bad because I think this season was his season to really stand out, and he just kept getting injured.
Yeah, he's had a bit of a controversial year between injuries and personal life as well, off the field. But on the field, he's a great player and he's got so much potential. And I'd hate to see his personal life disrupt that from him playing because he's a very good talent.
Yeah, he's a great talent, and something that really pointed out that to me was the reality check that poor Clint Gutherson got when his legs got cooked. So, Tyrone Munro has all the potential to be a world class winger. It's just about consistency on the field, scoring those tries like he does. He's big, he's tall, he can get in the air, he can catch the ball if he needs to. Um, he's got that sort of build for it. And yeah, I'm happy to give him a pass because in every game he played really solid, I thought. So yeah, I'm happy to give him a pass.
Yeah, no, I agree. I love Ty. Met him a few times around South, outside of South, and he's a good bloke, and he played some great footy this year.
Yeah, some exceptional moments as well. So yeah, good to see Tyrone Munro. And hopefully he doesn't get injured next year and gets to play football first grade regularly. Moving on to another player that didn't really get to play much, but whenever he did, made an effect. Trell Mitt, 11 games, 2 tries, 12 try assists. A lot of people were mixed on Latrell. A lot of South fans. Yeah, a bunch of them love him. I'm one that is in confidence of that. I think he's great. I think there's other South fans that have had enough because unfortunately he just hasn't been able to put together more than 20 games since he's got to South.
Yeah, no, that is one way to look at it. But when he is playing, he's had some exceptional moments. Obviously, that 50-meter field goal against Brisbane that's a moment we're all going to remember for years to come. So when he plays and when he's on his really good days, he's an exceptional player, and you can notice his impact on the field at all times when he's there.
Yeah, I agree. And I think for that, it's easy for me to give him a pass. I think very solid every time, especially games where he played against Warriors, against Titans. Those sort of games where they need a win and he's sealing it for him. I'm not too sure if they ended up winning that game against Warriors, but it was within 6 points and he kept it really tight. He was the one that kept them in that game. The more he's on the field, the more games South win. It's simple. He could be top 5 fullbacks when he's on the field, when he's playing consistently, and he whenever he plays, he usually does. So for that, I'm going to give him a pass.
Oh, I absolutely agree. I'll give him a pass, but I want to believe that he can put together more than 20 games in a season and just play like how he should. I do believe that sometimes Latrell can get a bit lazy. However, sometimes he's not where he's supposed to be in fullback, and he's not putting in chasing, not putting in efforts when other teams make line breaks. So I feel like Latrell, he just needs to care a bit more at times. Sometimes I feel like he's not caring enough. But I'm going to give him a pass. He's an exceptional player, and yeah, if he can string along 20 games in a season, South are a top 8 team.
Yeah, easily in. Any game with Latrell in it means attacking wise, South are just easily better. Moving on to another player that makes South better in attack, Cody Walker. Wow, the hamstring injuries really seem to hit him this year. 11 games as well, 1 try, 9 try assists. But that back end of the season led me to believe that when he's fit and healthy, he still can be a really good 5'8".
Yeah, I agree. I just feel like he came back from injury a bit too soon, especially from the hamstring. I feel like he rushed it a bit more, which got him injured again because he wasn't fully rested and
Yeah.
healthy. So I believe if he took an extra week or two, maybe 3 for recovery, he would have had an exceptional end to the year. But when he was playing, I still believe he was a very good player.
Yeah, I agree. I think very solid, especially that back end, the games against Para, the games against the Dragons, the games like that, where he was able to just create something that just didn't even look like was going to be a try. I mean, that's just the footy IQ, and he's had that ever since he started playing NRL. So, yeah, I'm going to give him a pass, Mike. I think even though he didn't really get to play much footy, or when he did, he got injured during a game. Those last 5, 6 games he played was really solid.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm going to give him a pass mark. What would you give it? Will you give him a pass mark, Xander?
Yeah, I'll give him a pass mark. I just have to see him play more footy next year. I do believe he's a bit like Alex Johnson. He's becoming older. He's getting a bit more towards the end of his career, but it's not letting him let. He's not letting it slow him down. He's still playing exceptional footy, and I'd just love to see him play a few more games next year.
Yeah, 100%. And for the last player, that he's still very solid, and he's still at the age of 26, and he's got still his best footy to come, I think, is Campbell Graham. Oh, Campbell Graham. Yeah, didn't really see that much of him. I'm not going to lie, but I just feel that he didn't get to put a great season of footy together because he was overcoming calf injuries as well and certain different injuries. But yeah, well, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, between the calf injury and I think how do you start the season? Sternum injury.
He came back from the sternum.
Yeah,
He missed the whole
it's
of
a rough
2020.
injury. Yeah, absolutely. It's a rough injury to come back from. Coming fresh off missing a full season of footy, pretty much as well.
Yeah,
Um, it's hard to come back from seasons like that and injuries like that. But we've also seen Campbell before he got injured at his absolute peak. He was Origin potential player, best center in the comp, if I uh, if I must say. He's got incredible potential. I just hate to see how the injuries are affecting him and his playing recently.
yeah, I think 2023, the year before the sternum problem, 16 tries in 20 games. Like, I mean, even seasons before that, very good and defensively very strong. But this year, he just seemed to keep getting distracted with injuries, and the flow wasn't there. And it's kind of hard because you don't want to judge him based off that and the fact that they missed a whole season of footy. So it's going to obviously take time for them to get back to the form. And then they've got more injuries coming at them. So it's like, it's kind of really harsh, but there's not really much he did in 2025.
Yeah, no, I agree. Unfortunately, but I do feel like if he has the off season now. If he can come back fit and strong next year, avoid injury, I feel like he can have a really good year, and we know that we've seen it. He just needs to avoid injury.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think still running mate is really good. Defensive stats pretty solid. Um, it's just about consistency on the field, contributing to the scoreboard is probably what fans want to see more of in 2026. I'm gonna give him just like the slightest pass because he just got disrupted and he could not get any flow. But even when he was on the field, certain aspects like defense and running the ball, he was still okay at. So yeah, borderline
Yeah,
pass.
no, I'll agree. Obviously, it's hard to fail a player like Campbell Graham. Obviously with injuries all year, like it's hard for him to play his best footy. But he's a very good defensive player. Like we've seen him put his body on the line multiple times for the team. And we've seen how good he can be when he's not injured. So
Yeah.
I'm still going to give him a pass, even though he had a rough year with injuries. But I know he can come back as a good player. So
Yeah. Yeah. And I've got hope that 2026 will be much better health and condition wise for him, and all the best to him. So yeah, that does it for the player reviews. Now we're going to go through the player movements, and this one's quite interesting. Do you want to run through the signings?
yes, so obviously a couple of days ago we signed Adam Elliott from the Knights, the biggest signing of the year, David Fafita. We're all excited to see how that goes. We got Bronson Garlic, Jonah Glover. Um, yeah, I'm gonna butcher those names. I
Uh,
already know.
I'll finish the last two. They signed two from the Wars, Moala Graham Taufa and Edward Cossey. Um, yeah, I mean, pretty decent bunch of signings. I'm not sure how Jonah Moala or Edward Cossey will go. The only one out of those few with proven experience there is Edward Cossey, and Jonah Glover's played no games of first grade, so we really are yet to see how he goes. But yeah, I think there's potential in him. He has potential. He's got creative ability. Um, under the Dragons, didn't get any game time, and yeah, he had to leave, and he's found a spot at South. Hopefully, he can get some games. But moving into the losses, Jerome Burns retired, and it's quite a shame because he was still quite young. He was like 26, 27, and yeah, he was decent, but never really got the chance to shine in first grade. Lewis Dodd, talk about money that was really wasted before Wayne Bennett got there. Lewis Dodd, a lot of money went towards him, and it really didn't work out. And I think it's unfortunate because he could have been good, but I think there was maybe differences, personal differences, or maybe he wasn't training the right way, or Wayne Bennett wanted a different style of footy. It just didn't work out for whatever reason. But yeah, a lot of money lost there on Lewis Dodd. Ryan Gray has left, so I'm wrong about that. He did leave. He went to Tweed. He's gone to the Queensland Cup. Thought he was okay, but yeah, seems that they've released him. Saliva Harville has left, and he's gone to London Broncos. Jacob Host, St. Helens. He's always been one of my favourites in terms of effort. I like what he does, but yep, Jacob Host to the Super League. Ben Lovett, who has retired, and it's quite a shame when you hear the injuries that he's gone through and the reasons he had to retire because of it. And Hazan Mellors to the Warriors, which is a good signing in my opinion. Shaq Mitchell to Tweed, so he's also going to Queensland Cup. Davey Moali to the Melbourne Storm, which we did go over before. And Michaeli Ravalawa, who was originally meant to come back to Dragons, has actually ended up going to Castleford. And South re-signed Jai Gray for 2029. So, yeah, a lot of player movements there at South, and yeah, far out. The signings look good. Adam Elliott, David Feeder. I mean, just want to make a stacked forward pack more stacked. Those are the two players you go and get. This means I think that means they're just going to be even better. So, yeah, good signings there from South, and hopefully it means a better 2026. Now, Xander, to finish off, we have our awards, and then we're going to sum up the season. But for the awards, do you have a best win in particular that you like?
Best win of the year. We all know which one it is. It's the win over the Broncos. Obviously, they won the premiership, but Latrell Mitchell's field goal from 50 meters, the try he scored at the very end of the game. It was a very memorable game. Great game to watch. Yeah, that's easily game of the year, I reckon, for South.
Yeah, South had some good games, good wins. But this one in particular, the one you just stated, is my win of the year too, because I think it was the 80th minute where they was it Latrell that scored on the full time.
Yeah, he took the
Yeah,
knee out of Hooker, and then no one tackled him, and he dove over.
yeah. He just was on his knees and just waited there, and no one wanted to pick him up, so he just dived over the try line.
Yeah,
That's extremely memorable, and yeah, Broncos. I don't know what was going on at the start of the season, but it was definitely they're still a great team then, and yeah, it was a great win for South. Now though, moving on to the worst loss. What was your worst loss?
yeah. We had a few games where we lost by not much, or we got belted. I feel like we got belted by a few teams. The Broncos being one in the second matchup against the Broncos, and I feel like that was a very harsh loss.
Yeah, and I'm going to agree with you there too because 60 points to 14 it was, and that's probably when they were at their worst in terms of injuries and having players having to fill in. I think they lost Pete Mamazelos before the game, and he was their 18th man, so they had no
Yeah,
18th man, and then they lost a couple of players off the bench because of HIA and injury or whatever. I mean, it just got worse, and yeah, Broncos. This is when they really started to hit their stride, and they went on to win the grand final. So, yeah, unfortunately, the worst loss was also against the Broncos. But moving on now to our player awards, Rookie of the Year, the first award. Do you want me to start, or do you want to go?
you can start. I'll let you start.
Okay. Thank you. I will choose Ashton Ward. I think when he debuted, a lot of people were very critical of his size, but I've already seen that sort of situation with Jai Gray and how that's gone. And yeah, I was pretty optimistic about Ashton Ward, and I mean, he proved a lot of fans wrong. I think defensively was very, very strong, and in attack has some flashes of ability there that we saw. So yeah, I'm going to give my Rookie of the Year award to Ashton Ward.
Yeah, no, I'll absolutely agree. There was lots of talks around then and even not so much going into next year, but we do believe he should be having a role next year, even if it's off the bench, just based on the way he played this year. For a rookie year, he came in, he played very well.
Yeah, he did. He really stood out when he started playing. So yeah, good on Ashton Ward, and hopefully he has a better 2026. Moving on though is the hardest working award. Um, who are you going to give that to, Xander?
Hardest working, I do believe it is Hubby. Right, what a player. Came
Yeah,
in, filled the shoes of Cam Murray. Exceptional offense, exceptional defense. What a workhorse Hubby is.
yeah, and I'll second that. I think Hubner was just outstanding when it came to work on and off the ball, and the amount of effort areas he put in, kick chase, whatever it may be. Very, very, very solid. So yeah, Hubner, hardest working award. We will both agree on that. And now to finish off with the awards, who was your best player of the 2025 season?
Look, South had obviously it was a rough year with injuries, and we had some very exceptional players stand up and show their worth. Players like Jai Gray coming in at fullback, exceptional player. Hubby, as we just spoke about, exceptional player. But I feel like Tallis Duncan, when he was on the field, I remember the hype he got as well when he started scoring tries, game in, game out. I remember I remember him in fantasy in
Yeah,
Supercoach where he went up value, he went up like 300, 400K in value in Supercoach, and
yeah,
the hype was crazy around Tallis Duncan. So
yeah,
I like Tallis Duncan. I feel like he's my player of the year.
yeah. Fair. And he's in my top three, but for me, it is pretty simple. Short King's on top, and it's going to always remain that way. With Guy Gray at number one for the South Sydney Rabbitohs, and yeah, well, didn't he have a season far out? What a player! Like you talk about players putting their body on the line. I know because I'm his height. To put your body on the line against big freaking blokes like that is something special, and that's what Jai Gray is. And call me a glazer, I do not care. Jai Gray is the best player in 2025 for South Sydney Rabbitohs.
I
Now,
think each three players that we just spoke about have a case though. Lockie
yeah, oh,
Hubner, Tallis,
yeah,
and Jai, they all have the right to be number one player of the year. They all put in mad effort. So it's very
yeah.
close between all three.
And I think the three players that we named should be the top three.
Absolutely.
All stated case. I think two of them are very underrated. Jai Gray has pretty much announced himself in this league and is here for the future. But I think it's time that fans start realising that Lockie Hubner and Talis Duncan are going to be real big forwards.
Talis is not just looks, man. Talis is a good player. He's not just good looks.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. And Souths have got a pretty good team shaping up for 2026. So to sum up 2025 in a few words and give your quick thoughts on 2026, what would you say?
Look, it's a rough season. We have this team, we have the players to make the top 8. Obviously through injuries, we weren't able to, and that's all right. I feel like compared to 2024, we had less injuries and we improved from that year. Ladder positions, stats, everything. So if we just keep the team healthy, we have a case to make top 8, make the finals, and even go deep in the finals, I believe.
Yeah, I agree. I think Souths, when they're fully fit, anywhere between 4 and 8, I really think that is where they belong. But it's just it's just misfortune, really. I mean, the last 2 years have been the most unfortunate years I've seen from any NRL club. And I said this yesterday in my Dragons review, a series of unfortunate incidents happening because, I mean, the amount of injuries that Rabbitohs copped this year in 2025 and Dragons copped in 2025, it's going to take its toll. And something I'll say for South is that fans should be optimistic because if they remain healthy, they could be for anywhere between 4 to 8. And if their halves, their spine is on fire, they could be well inside the top 4 and pushing for a premiership possibly. So, yeah, South fans just need to remain optimistic, hope for no injuries. And if there's no injuries, I think there's every chance in the world they could win a grand final sometime soon.
Absolutely. Second that.
Yep. And so, well, that'll do it now. We've gone through the South season and we all think that next year is going to be a season where we see much more from them and much better position on the ladder. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. This was Beyond the Tryline episode 6 with Xander, and we just reviewed the South Sydney Rabbitohs 2025 season. Thank you and have a good one.